Hello everybody, and thank you for coming back to my channel, or if you're new here, my name is Riley. Honey Rags, you may have heard of me as Honey Rags over on Instagram or Poshmark. I'm a full-time reseller and a full-time stay-at-home mother of 3 boys, all 6 years old and under. So if I seem a little high-strung on this video, it's just because I took like 20 minutes to decompress from momming, and my kids have like really put me through the ringer today. So if I seem high-strung, I kind of am, but I also wanted to get this video done today because I haven't uploaded in 2 weeks, which is very unlike me. But anyways, if you don't follow me already, you can go ahead and follow me on Instagram. My Instagram name is honey.rags, and I will leave a link below down in the description. I resell on Poshmark, eBay, Etsy, and Reseller. So I'm going to take a deep breath and try to whip through these as quickly as possible. Everything that I'm about to go through has sold within the last week or 7 calendar days. So if you follow me on Instagram, I had a really slow last week of July, and it was really depressing. And it kind of picked up through the first and a half, second week of August. It kind of picked up. I think I had like a random day where I spiked in sales, and then it kind of slowed down again. But knock on wood, I'm hoping the summer slowdown is finally over for me. So I will also try to let you guys know which sold on each platform. Okay. So my first sale was this Eileen Fisher sweater. It was really lightweight. It was kind of like woven, almost netting actually. I think I had it listed for $30. Somebody offered me $25 and I accepted. I sold this soft surroundings white button-up top for $10. I am going to warn you, because I had such a slow week previous to these sales, I was pretty much accepting any offer that I could, even if that meant I was only making like literally $3 or $4 per item, because I was like, okay, I need to start getting some inventory moving here. I need to get some sales moving here. I had anxiety about my slow sales week, so I was just pretty much accepting almost anything. So yeah, keep in mind, I didn't make like a ton of money off each of these pieces. Some of them I did, some of them I literally only made like $3 or $4 off of. But the ones that I did only make like $3 or $4 off of, I have been sitting on for a while. And that's part of the reason that I also accepted the offer. I love selling soft surroundings, but I have noticed it does better on eBay. On Poshmark, it gets a lot of attention, but the sales are slow. This was just a white button-up, like it reminded me of a doctor blouse. So I kind of do regret picking it up. I wouldn't pick it up again, but I still do pick up soft surroundings. I sold this brand new with tags. Can't remember the name of the brand. It was like Allie and Amy. I don't know, probably nothing like that. But it was just a new with tags Anthropologie top. And the reason I knew that was because the tag was actually an Anthropologie tag. I had it listed originally for $25. They sent me an offer for $10 and I accepted. I sold this Bowden, almost like picnic-y. This reminded me of a picnic, like a little cute picnic summer dress for $26. I love Bowden, but it's a hit or miss for me. I think I had it listed at 30 something and I sent an offer out to Likers and somebody accepted. Somebody offered me $30 for this Ralph Lauren Western zip-up jacket that I had listed at like $34, which was clearly a reasonable offer, and I was happy to accept. I sold this Lou and Gray cowl neck pullover. So Lou and Gray has actually been a pretty consistent seller for me, knock on wood. It's more of a bread and butter brand. I'm obviously not making like $20 off of each item that I sell, but it gets a lot of attention and it sells pretty quickly so far. I sold this Gap Pendleton. I didn't even know that was a collaboration, but yeah. Gap Pendleton tunic for $25. I think I had it listed at $30 and somebody sent me this offer. I sold these high-rise can jeans for $17, which I was happy with because every once in a while you can get them on clearance at Buckle for like $30 new. So $17 used was not bad. I also sold this Calvin Klein leopard bodycon dress for $25. I had it listed at $35. Somebody sent me an offer for $25. I accepted. Now this one I was really sad to see let go, and a part of me feels like I could have sent it to like the Real or even ThredUp and made more than this, but it was a Chloe, not C by Chloe, but just Chloe authentic, very heavy knit pullover sweater, and I'm obviously happy with $58. That's why I accepted the offer, but I had it listed for $158, which I wasn't expecting to get $158 out of, but I wanted to start somewhere. And someone sent me an offer for $58, and I thought about it for like 10 hours and I just accepted. I didn't want to counter with like $80 and then lose the buyer. I didn't want to be greedy, but a part of me also feels like I kind of wish I didn't let it go, but I don't want to, I'm not going to beat myself up over like a possible extra $20. This one was my favorite sale of last week. So it is a vintage handmade. Well, I can't promise you that it's vintage because it's handmade, but everything from like the stitching and everything made me believe that this is vintage. It is a sewing machine pattern blouse. It had no size tag, no brand, and I still put it at $30 because I felt like I would find the right buyer. And I found the right buyer. They just bought it full price at $30. So thank you. I sold this Madewell tunic. It's actually a really nice quality. So I know Madewell kind of loses its resale value like every year, it seems like. But this one was a really nice, like, I don't know if it was linen, but just the fabric was nice and heavy. It was very detailed at the like embroidered few stripes that it had. Somebody offered me like $7 for it. I didn't accept or decline or counter because I think I was just busy and I figured they were probably a low baller anyway. But then they came around and offered me $14 like a week later. So I'm like, okay, they must want it. I had it listed at $30 and I counter offered like $25 and they offered like $15. So I just declined. And then they came back later and offered me like, I don't know. Somehow we ended up at $19. So I am very grateful that I actually decided to send out a counter offer because $19, I mean, it's not like it's a luxury brand or anything. So I was happy to let it go. I sold this Victoria's Secret pink zip-up hoodie, which pink has always been a solid seller for me. Although the market is saturated, it seems to do well still. This one I didn't realize until I got home. It had a huge flaw. It had a huge like oil stain or something in the back, which really you couldn't see. It was like a vegetable oil stain. I don't mean like car engine oil, but it was just a weird spot of discoloration that I could not get out. I tried everything. So I was like, whatever, I'll list it for $10. Somebody just bought it at full price. Now these I found in Palm Springs. They're Jam's World vintage lounge pants. Someone also swooped in. Oh no, I had these listed for like $35 and they offered me $30, I think, and I accepted. I sold this Athleta thermal for $10. I think I had it listed for $15 and accepted an offer. Athleta has not been doing the best for me, by the way. I sold these Blowfish booties for $15, which I mean, I was happy with. Blowfish isn't like super expensive new. I sold this La Blanca swim cover for $10. It's getting towards the end of the summer season and I have been sitting on this piece for probably a couple months. So I was like, whatever. Yeah, these Nike, I sold these retro high-rise Nike shorts for $10. So as you guys can see, like I'm not super impressed with my average price point for what these items sold for, but I'm glad to see them go. I sold this Christopher & Banks, which is a brand I never have picked up before and probably never will again. But this was Christopher & Banks. Am I saying that right? Hand embroidered. And it had like a hand embroidered soccer patch on the front and back. And the tag actually said hand embroidered. So I knew somebody would appreciate this. Like it's getting towards soccer mom season. I have been sitting on it for about a year. I had it listed at $34. Somebody sent me an offer for $20 and I gladly accepted. Now that was Poshmark, so over to Etsy. I sold as a vintage teacup pastel top. It wasn't too vintage, like 90s. I knew with tag words like Lolita, kitsch, kawaii, I knew the tag word would bring a buyer in, and sure enough, they bought it. I think this one I sold for $18. 18? It doesn't show me right on the screen, but I think it was 18. I sold this antique Victorian cherub angel. It was a like slide. This is something that I bought in that big jewelry lot. I sold this one for $67. I could have probably gotten more out of it if I waited, but I have so much antique and vintage jewelry to get rid of. I really can't be stingy with all of it. So this one I was happy to see go for $67. I sold these antique teardrop earrings for $58. Again, these are antique. These are like Edwardian. I believe these were Edwardian. I also sold this adorable vintage babies, like 1970s bodysuit for $18 on Etsy. Moving on to eBay. So eBay treated me well. I didn't get a lot of sales, but they treated me well with, like I didn't have any crazy lowball offers or anything last week. So I sold this gamer's laptop that was a marketplace, a Facebook marketplace flip. I think we paid $75 for it, and we sold it for $300 with free shipping. So obviously after the shipping that we paid, you know, we didn't make $300, but it was a nice quick flip. I couldn't tell you that many details about it because my fiance helped me list this one because I don't know that much about computers. I mean, I know a lot about like editing and stuff and software, but when it comes to like the actual computer, I'm no help. I sold this Eileen Fisher silk button-up for $34.50. I sold this Eileen Fisher linen top that was like purposely almost distressed looking for $28. I sold this Logo by Lori Goldstein trench jacket button-up for $40. I think I had it listed at like $60, and I got an offer for $40, and I was happy to accept that. I sold this David Meister retro inspired. So it looks like it's from like the 60s or 70s, but it's actually newer. It's just kind of like retro inspired, vintage inspired. I sold this for $45. Okay, now I do want to let you guys know that on Saturday, I had my first ever pop-up. What do I call that? I had my first ever pop-up market, and it was completely sponsored by Relove, who I have been selling and buying on since October of 2018. I have told you guys countless times I will put a video up about Relove, going into more detail. I'm just trying to get all my stuff together. I want to like make a nice informative video because obviously, you know, it's a newer platform, so there are a lot of questions that need to be answered. I am going to be uploading that video at some point. I'm so sorry it has taken me so long, you guys. In the meantime, I am answering all of the questions about Relove over on my Instagram. So I had a Relove pop-up that was completely sponsored by them, and it was in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and it was my first ever in-person pop-up. I've been reselling clothing and vintage, and my fiance's been reselling for years, but we've never done anything in person simply because I feel like it's easier to do it online. But I thought it would be a really fun idea. It would be fun to at least say we've done it before. I had no idea what I was getting in for. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if I would have no sales or $500 in sales. So we were out there for 6 hours, and in those 6 hours, I made $444, which is not bad, you know, considering all we really had to do was sit out there for 6 hours, and it was really fun to meet all of the people. I actually put a little square reader on the bottom of my iPhone, and I could take cards. The people were so sweet and friendly, and I actually ended up guiding a lot of people to Relove through this because so many people were interested because we had a cute little like Relove banner. So aside from all the sales I had online, I also made $444 in person. And before I did this video, I thought I should show you guys like a picture of each of the items that I sold in person because they were pretty much all vintage clothing items. But I really didn't want to dig through all of the listing pictures that I had and have to screenshot them and then, you know, put them on here. So I just showed you guys what I actually sold online. I am going to be uploading a video sometime this week or the next, although it will be a little late. I will be uploading a video on how the pop-up actually went for me because I did film the beginning, and while I was in it, I tried to do a little bit of filming so that way you guys could kind of get a feel of what it takes to throw a pop-up market in person, and it's actually a lot easier than you might think. I think the hardest part was finding the right place to be a vendor because in Grand Rapids there are many different selections, and some are arts and crafts focused, some are vintage focused, some are just like boutique or made in Michigan focused. So finding the right one, that took a while, but it was so much fun, and I probably will be doing it again. So I will keep you guys updated on that in a future video. And after this video, I should be uploading a haul video because I am so backed up on doing these videos. It's driving me nuts. So I'm going to be uploading a haul video from the past 1.5, 2 weeks. And that should be on shortly as well. So if you guys enjoyed watching, as always, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. And subscribe if you haven't already. Like I said, I will leave a link down below in the description to my Instagram. And thank you so much for watching. As always, happy selling.